Good day. We want to thank all those who have joined us on our live on Wellies in the Wood. I am your host, Nita Lewis from the Inspire All Family Centres for the South and West of Hertfordshire, and I lead on family learning. Today I'm here with our guest, Emily from Groundworks, who will share about the Wellies in the Woods programme. So over to you, Emily.
Hi everyone, it's really nice to be here today, and my name's Emily, so I work for Groundworks East. I'm Youth and Community Officer there. I work on a whole range of projects all across Hertfordshire, and one of them is Wellies in the Woods, so I'm very excited to be here today to be able to chat a bit more about the programme and what it entails.
Lovely, thank you for coming, Emily. Could you just tell us a little bit about the Wellies in the Woods?
Yes, of course. So Wellies in the Woods is a fantastic family learning programme. It's for parents and their children, so toddler age children, preschool, under fives. And it's a course that is run over a number of weeks. And the main aim of the programme is to improve the confidence of parents and the children in engaging in outdoor and natural play. So it's something which not everyone necessarily will be happy with doing themselves. So we give lots of different activities for families to do, and these activities also help to increase the social skills and the communication skills of children, and we create some really nice positive parent-child play experiences, including providing some really nice low and no cost activities for families to do.
That sounds fantastic and exciting for young children, and I'm sure loads of families will enjoy the opportunities to go outdoor and to have natural play with their kids. What are the other benefits for families and attending the Wellies in the Woods course?
So the Wellies in the Woods courses provide so many benefits for families. It gives families the opportunity to get outside no matter what the weather, and be able to actually know how to engage with the outdoors and different activities and things they can do. It gives them a chance to meet some new people, get to know some other local families, make some new friends, and to have a really supportive environment to try things out that they might not be happy about, might not have necessarily done before.
No, that sounds brilliant. And I think even families who probably don't have like a back garden and probably don't usually venture out to the local parks will find the Wellies in the Wood program quite exciting. It's like an adventure for their child. So I know you run the courses across Hertfordshire. How are the courses run? Give us a bit of detail of what that entails. If a family is attending a course, what can they expect?
Yes, of course. So Wellies in the Woods is not about going to the woods just once. It's about going to that same location again and going back again and again, and actually building that confidence in interacting with that space. So our courses run over 8 weeks. So we have an hour-and-a-half session every week for 8 weeks, and we run these sessions in various different locations, and usually all the locations are somewhere accessible, somewhere that it's nice and easy for families to be able to get to. So we don't choose venues that are tucked away, that takes lots of travelling to get to. We want local families to be able to use something that's on their doorstep, and perhaps maybe look at a park in a different way. So we might use a small patch of woodland that's on the edge of a playing field. So families might have used the playing field to run around and play football, but not necessarily actually then gone and explored in that small patch of woodland there. So it's all about trying to use locations which are nice and accessible for families to get to.
Lovely. And what can the activities look like? I know you mentioned a bit earlier when talking about the program, but what can the activities look like?
Yes, the activities, we do so many different things. I think one of the favourites that comes up is building things like mini dens for soft toys. We quite often will hide some little toys out in the woods, and for the children to find, and then they can use those and build some little dens for them. We'll also do things like scavenger hunts, so we actually get to really look at loads of the different things that are in the woods. And another popular activity is bug hunting as well. That always seems to be quite a fun activity, because we're looking for something that you don't necessarily see. If you go on a walk through the woods, you might not actually see that there's a little ladybird sat on a leaf over there. So it's really nice to do some of these activities where we're really looking at what's there.
Yeah, no, that sounds quite exciting. And I think little ones, exploring and finding all the little bugs and doing all the activities, I think it will, the excitement will be there week after week when they come to attend the Wellies in the Woods course.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just thought another activity which we always do as well is we always do a little bit of storytelling as part of the session as well. That's a really, really nice chance to sit down in the woods and enjoy the surroundings and all of that. So each of our sessions are based around a different storybook.
Fantastic. That sounds very exciting. So obviously you deliver the courses across Hertfordshire, but who can deliver the courses? Who else can deliver those courses for families in their local area?
Yeah, absolutely. So Wellies in the Woods is a great programme, and it's something that we'd love to see being run in so many different locations and being run by people other than ourselves. So over the years, we have worked with family centres such as yourself, and we've trained up family centres member of staff to be able to run their own Wellies in the Woods courses. It's with the training we can offer to parent and toddler group leaders as well. Any organisation really that would work with families, with parents and their young children. So we aim to try and get as many people feeling confident and happy to run their own Wellies in the Woods courses.
Fantastic. No, that sounds quite exciting. But as a family centre, we want to encourage volunteers who want to work alongside us to deliver the courses, to access the training. Can you just give us a bit more about the training, how long it is, what people can expect when they come on the training?
Yeah, absolutely. So the training courses that we run, they're 3-hour sessions, and we go through all the ins and outs of that you need to know to be able to run your own Wellies in the Woods course yourself. So we look at things like the benefits of outdoor play, because there's so many different benefits of being outdoors and getting to play in the woodlands. But then we also have a little look at some of those tools that are needed to help engage families outdoors. And then importantly as well, we do have a little bit of a look at the risks and some of the challenges with working with families outdoors, because when you're indoors you don't need to worry about the weather, but when you're outside you've got other considerations like the weather, and you've got other considerations about how the area that you're using has been used and things like that. And also you might need to think about who owns the land. Can you actually go and do Wellies in the Woods course there? Are you able to use that space? So we look at all of those kind of things on the training course, along with a whole range of different outdoor activities that can be done, and also look at evaluating the course and checking and making sure that it's working, that the families are happy, that they're gaining something from it. And then finally, we also look at the resources that are needed, because you do need some resources. You don't need a lot to run Wellies in the Woods, but there are certain resources which are great and really useful to have as well.
And the expectation, like you'd mentioned, is for whoever's running the course and the parents to use a lot of the natural things around them to make to kind of feed into the activities, like building the dens. You would use some dry wood and and some of the bits that's existing in the woodlands to make the activities more exciting for families.
Absolutely. We tend to try and encourage not bringing too many resources, because we want to be able to give activities that families could do themselves, that maybe they just take their soft toy out into the woods with them to play for that day, things like that, and using lots of natural materials for activities and looking at the woods in that slightly different way.
And we're coming up to the time of year where it's autumn, where it's fall, and you have a lot of leaves that's going to fall all over, and there's a lot of different art and craft that families can do with that. So I think it's an exciting time for us to for families to engage in a Wellies in the Woods program. I think it's the training for parent and toddler groups, for volunteers who want to come on board and work with the family centre is just the perfect time for them to come and learn and to engage with families in their local areas. So before venturing out, I know families, might not understand exactly what they can bring, or even the leaders a little bit more on the health and safety, what would you advise that groups put in place before going out on the Wellies in the Woods program?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we've got things like the weather can cause changes in what you actually need. So that's one thing that definitely needs to be thought about. We do go outside in every weather because it's actually great. You can go outside, you can play in puddles and things like that. So it's really fun. I think the only sort of weather conditions that would stop us from running sessions would be things like extreme weather. So having thunderstorms, things like that, or having really high winds. So that's so it's looking at the weather before you go out, making sure you know that what the conditions are going to be like and that you're happy that it's safe. And so then also just asking families to actually be prepared for the weather. So if it's going to be boiling hot, making sure they've got sun cream and hats. If it's going to be cold, that they're wrapped up nicely, they've got coats, and they've got things like wellies as well for if it's going to be muddy. So being prepared for the sessions is quite important. It's also important as a group leader to have things like a first aid kit, something that you don't need very often at all, but especially things like hand wipes are quite often used if you get muddy and things like that, but always best to be prepared with a first aid kit just in case it's needed. So then there's not really a lot that's actually needed apart from that, just a good attitude and wanting to come out and play and explore and have some fun in the woods.
Fantastic. No, that sounds quite exciting. For families who want to access the course, for families who want to learn a bit more about the Wellies in the Wood program, how can they access any courses or access a bit more information about the program?
So we will run courses all the time. It's one of the programs that we do a lot of, and we will run it all over the county. So we actually have our own Wellies in the Woods website, which is great. So I believe that's going to get linked into the chat for people to see, but that is welliesinthewoods.org.uk, and on that website it's got loads of different activity ideas that families could actually do themselves at home, but then there is a nice button on there where you can actually sign up to save your details on there so that we can get in touch when we've got courses in your area as well. So I'd say that's probably the first point of call for that. We do have a Wellies in the Woods course coming up soon, so we are going to be running one in Aberford Park over in Boreham Wood, so that's starting on the 4th of October, and that will be for 8 weeks over there. That's running in the afternoon 1 till 2:30, and if people want to book a place on that course, they can find full details of the course on Groundworks East Eventbrite page as well, and I believe the post has been sent to you as well, so it's been posted on your Facebook
it's been promoted
well,
on our Heartsmith Facebook page as well, so families can access.
So you can scroll down and find the booking link and feel free to book and come along to one of those courses, but we are always happy for questions as well from families if they want to find out a bit more about a course as well. So just use that contact us function on our Wellies in the Woods website and we'll be able to send you more information.
Brilliant. So if I could just go back a bit to the training, because one of the key outcomes for our live today is to engage with parent and toddler groups and volunteers who want to undertake the Wellies in the Woods training with you. We're looking for people who are interested to email the Family Centre at family.learning@inspireall.com. Or contact us via the live on the Facebook, on our Facebook page, and just register your interest with us. And what we'll do, we'll pull the information together, and then we'll send out some dates of when the training will be held. So that's one of the main outcomes for us today. So train as many people in our local districts who can just run with the Wellies in the Woods program, as it's an exciting program for families. Especially now with everybody coming out of COVID, being outdoors is probably the best place to be. So we want to encourage the parent and toddler groups and any volunteers to contact us so we can arrange the training on your behalf. And the training is free. There's no cost to the training. The training is free. So please do register your interest on the live. We have our we have Chloe in the background. We're just trying to see if you have any questions that you've submitted for the live that Emily can answer.
Hi, Nita. Hi, Emily. I'm just checking the comments now. Just bear with me one moment. So, we've got, can you run a course if you have your own children with you?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, that is a very good question. So obviously we've never been in the position to do that ourselves. I would say absolutely. If your children are happy to understand when you need to actually stop for a minute and be able to actually explain to everyone what the next activity is and what we're going to do next. So as long as your children are happy with just sort of like maybe stopping for a minute and letting you actually have that moment to be able to explain the next activity, then I don't see why not, because the whole idea of Wellies in the Woods is that there are more families out playing outdoors, getting involved with things, and there are so many different activities that they can get involved with, and you might find that your children might be quite happy to help with handing out some of the resources and things like that. So get them helping to lead as well. That would be great.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Chloe, do we have any more questions?
Yes. So we've got, where is best to run the course?
So that's a good question as well. So it's all about looking at your local area, first of all. So when we look for places to actually run the Wellies in the Woods courses, we first of all look for a green space that is in good location for local families. So we don't like to pick somewhere that everyone would have to get into a car and drive to get to, although it is sometimes beneficial to be able to pick somewhere that actually does have some parking available as well, because sometimes it is just easier to get your kids to a space when you know that you can actually park the car there. Other things that we look for in terms of space is that you've got you don't necessarily need a big patch of woodland, but you've got a patch of woodland with a few sets of trees, so you've got somewhere that's a bit sheltered to be able to sit. It's really nice to be able to have that sheltered space when you're actually running a session. It might be that it's really sunny, so you need some shade. It might be that there's a bit of rain, so actually you want a bit of cover from the trees as well. So I would look for a space that has good sort of tree cover as well, and having lots of space to be able to do lots of different activities. So you may find that some patches of woodland have got plants like stinging nettles and brambles and things in there, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use those areas. It would just be a case of having a look to make sure that there are areas that are safe to access, that children can actually have a wander through and wander off the path, because that's one of the great things. You're not sticking to paths, you're actually getting to explore, you're getting to go up to a tree and actually see what that tree is like and things like that. So that's the main things. If you come on the training course, then we will talk a bit more about the locations of it, and we're always happy to support people in terms of deciding what location is best for a centre as well. So if you've got an idea on a location for it that you want to run by us, we're quite happy to have a look and go, oh yeah, we'd use this space, or actually no, this might not be suitable because of this. I think one of the main things to think about when it comes to the location as well is who owns the land as well. The local councils have been absolutely brilliant for all of these courses that we run, and they always let us use their spaces, and especially if our courses are free for families, and we would encourage you to be running Wellies in the Woods as sort of free low-cost activities for the local families. Councils are often very, very happy to let you run the Wellies in the Woods programme on their land as well. They generally just need a form filled out to say this is what we're doing, this is what we're planning.
Brilliant. So I have a question. I just want to feed in before. Chloe, do you have another question?
Sorry, Anita, I'm just looking again now. I can't see any new ones coming in, but I'll keep an eye out and let you know if we have any more.
No problem. So I have a question for you, Emily. So you've run Wellies in the Woods for a while now. What has been your experience of running Wellies in the Woods with a group of families?
So for me, Wellies in the Woods is probably one of my favourite things that I run. I absolutely love it. I love meeting new families, and one of the things I love about it is seeing the confidence of children grow over the weeks. There's been a number of courses where I've run the first week. The child is hiding behind mum's leg, won't talk to me, doesn't really want to engage, not really sure of the space, not really sure of the other people. Few weeks in, they're the ones running around and getting involved in everything. They're really excited. I love it as well when families come back the following week and say, oh, we did this activity last week, absolutely loved it, we've been doing it all week. When we've been taking an older one to school, we've been going along and actually stopping and doing a little bit of a scavenger hunt along the way as well, and things like that. And I love hearing all the activities that families have been continuing to do at home.
No, that sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I think the experiences outdoors, it just cannot compare to the confidence that the young kids will grow up with. I think doing it as a family, even some of the activities I think families can take away, and if they're going to walk their dogs, then they can replicate some of those activities along walking their dogs, and just getting the children a bit more engaged in outdoors and having that consciousness of what's around them is a very powerful thing for early learning. And that leads a lot of the children, because we're looking at children from 0 to 3, that leads nicely into the confidence they will have when they start in a primary school setting with forest schools. So they'll be very familiar with most of these activities and want to engage and participate in that type of learning. Let's just go back to Chloe and see if she has any other questions for us.
Hi, Nita. Hi, Emily. I can't see any more questions coming in at the moment, but if you're watching this now and you do have questions, please pop them in the comments below. And if you're watching this recorded as well, please still put your comments below and we'll get back to you as well. We'll pass them on to Emily and Nita and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Fantastic. Well, Emily, I think today we've given a lot of information about the Wellies in the Woods program, how families can access the training before venturing out, what they should think about as a leader. We're just really hoping that those who are listening to live now, who are interested in the training, will consider it and contact us and see what additional support we can offer, especially with you starting to run the program in your local community. So I want to thank you, Emily, for joining us today. I want to thank Chloe for hosting our Wellies in the Woods live. And I want to thank all the listeners and all those who submitted comments today on our Facebook Live. So thank you. We hope to hear from you soon, and have a lovely day. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Nita. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been great to chat about Wellies in the Woods. So any questions, please do get in touch.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.